Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. In order for Megan to cut ties with the negative relationship that she has with her mother, she decides to do a Reiki cleanse at the very beginning of this episode. And even though I'm all for Megan doing what she needs to do for herself, because she did say that she wants to start a family of her own, I feel like she needs to do some work on herself as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have sympathy for Megan when it comes to the relationship with her mother, but at the same time, she's negative and she's a mean girl too. Like, to me, Megan is still the same person she was on the Bad Girls Club. She has not changed, and so I do understand why she wants to cut off her mother. But if she doesn't work on herself as well, she's going to end up getting cut off by everybody too. Now, Neek ends up talking to her mother about the relationship with her father because now he decided to pop up in her life now that she's an adult. And she said that he was absent for most of her life. She said that she was around him only less than a handful of times. And so she doesn't have a relationship with him. She told her mother that he doesn't even know how to pronounce her name, which is really sad, to be honest with you. But I do like that she said that she was open to having a conversation with him. I think that she should have a conversation with her father, and if things don't go right, she can always cut him off and not deal with him anymore and just move on. But I do think that it's worth a try. I mean, I do think that it's odd that he's coming out of nowhere trying to have a relationship with her now that she's made it in life, but I do think that she should be open to a conversation, which she said she was. And she does end up meeting up with her father in this episode, and it went well to me, but at the same time, I do feel like he wasn't really taking full accountability. Because to me, he was just making a lot of excuses for why he wasn't a present father, and to me, there is no excuse. He was saying how he had a lot of children, which he does need to take accountability for, because nobody told him to have multiple children, especially when he wasn't there for the ones that he already had. And then he starts talking about how he was in and out of prison and how he was running the streets and that's all he cared about. And so although I do feel like he was making a lot of excuses, I do think that it was good that they sat down and had this conversation. But I will say that it was really weird that he doesn't know how to pronounce Neek's name, and then at the same time he doesn't know how to pronounce her son's name either. Like, I know that he wasn't involved in their lives, but to me that's just really sad. Danielle is going through a lot right now because in last week's episode, Rashad ended up filing legal documents on her for toxic communication. Like, he ended up showing his lawyers the text messages and the emails that, Danielle was sending him that he felt were very toxic. And so now she has a situation on her hands. And when she tried to reach out to Morgan for support, Morgan never responded to her, and now she feels some type of way. And I understand why Danielle feels the way that she does, because to me, she's been there for Morgan. Like, to me, she's just been a really good friend to her from what we've been able to see. And so I can understand why she would be so hurt that Morgan just ghosted her like that. Now, I do understand that Morgan is also dealing with a lot with her ex-husband and her kids, so I can understand why she kind of went ghost. But at the same time, I do feel like she should be there for Danielle because Danielle has been there for her. And right now, Danielle is feeling like Morgan has an issue with her because she went to Ashley's event. And if that is true, I think that's really petty of Morgan, because at the end of the day, they're all in the same group and on the same show. So they're going to be around Ashley regardless. Now, speaking of Ashley, she ends up putting together another event. It's a wellness event, and she invites everybody, including Morgan, to come. And Megan ends up showing up with an attitude, and she has a bone to pick with Ashley because she heard from one of her friends that Ashley was saying that her podcast was disgusting. Now, to me, that's not what Ashley was saying. She was saying that it was disgusting that, Nikki had to sit there and listen to her ex talk about his sex life, and she didn't want to be around him at the time. So I feel like, to me, Ashley was just defending Nikki. So Megan ends up confronting Ashley in this episode, and she tells Ashley that instead of calling her podcast disgusting, she needs to worry about whether or not her house is disgusting, because she heard that her house turns into a brothel on the weekends. And honestly, I do feel like Ashley is not innocent. Like, I feel like she's a sneaky person, but I don't think it's right for, Megan to run around throwing rumors at Ashley about what she does at her house just because she heard that from one of the other girls in the group. I'm pretty sure, Morgan is probably the one that told Megan this information because she doesn't like Ashley. But if the roles were reversed and Ashley or one of the other girls that the other people don't like would have said something like that, like a rumor about one of them, they would have been pissed off. So I just don't think that it's right that that Megan said that, and Ashley was really pissed off about that, and she walked away from Megan. There was a lot of tension between Danielle and Morgan at Ashley's event as well. I mean, I feel like Morgan was purposely trying to make Danielle know that she has an issue with her because she was ignoring her on purpose and just talking to the other girls and not saying anything to Danielle. And you can tell that Danielle was hurt about this, and she ended up leaving the event early. And Morgan ended up admitting in her confessional that the reason why she ghosted Danielle is because she felt some type of way about Danielle going to Ashley's event. I can see both sides of this situation. I can see Danielle's side where Ashley invited her to an event for basketball to help children with autism, and so she felt like the cause was greater than her issues that she has with Ashley. But I can also see Morgan's side of things where she doesn't want her friend supporting somebody that she doesn't like. That's understandable. What is not understandable is for you to just ghost somebody that you claim is your friend instead of telling her what she did that hurt you. I understand people say, oh, you know what you did, I don't have to explain myself. But if you are friends with somebody and they don't think they did anything wrong, sometimes a conversation is good to have. So when Megan ends up inviting both Nikki and Morgan out for drinks after Ashley's event, Morgan says that she's the one that told Danielle that Ashley has brothels at her house, and that's who ended up going back and telling that information to Megan, and that's the reason why Megan ended up saying it to Ashley. And listen, at this point, I'm side-eyeing the hell out of Megan because she just finished earlier in this episode saying that she wanted to make a change and she's trying to start a family of her own, so she wants all the negative energy out of her life. Yet she sits around and acts like a mean girl and starts spreading rumors about somebody else in the group. I just don't think that it's right. And I honestly don't like that all the other girls who are supposed to be friends with Megan just sit there and let her be as messy as she wants to be and none of them call her out. Because if she was doing that to one of them, they would have a huge issue with it. And at the very end of this episode, Morgan and Danielle end up having a conversation, and I thought that it was really weird the way that Morgan was acting towards Danielle. Because she started asking Danielle why she was acting the way she was acting towards her at Ashley's event. And I thought that that was weird because Danielle, to me, didn't do anything to Morgan. Morgan walked into Ashley's event and acted like Danielle wasn't there. She was purposely ignoring her and talking to the other girls. And so that's the reason why Danielle left early. Now, Morgan was honest and she told Danielle that the reason why she had a problem with her and why she was ignoring her messages was because she felt some type of way about her supporting Ashley at her event. And when Danielle tries to explain that the only reason why she went to the event was because it was for children with autism, Morgan didn't seem to care and she didn't seem to want to hear it. Not only did Morgan sit there and tell Danielle that she feels like she's going to go back and tell her business to Ashley, she also told Danielle that she feels like Danielle is trying to make everything about herself. But I honestly feel like Morgan is the one that's making everything about herself. I mean, the event that Danielle went to that was Ashley's was for children. It had nothing to do with adults, especially not Morgan. Morgan's name was not even mentioned. And to be honest with you, Danielle barely spoke to Ashley the entire time. But because Morgan did not want to hear what Danielle had to say, and she also felt like, Danielle wasn't letting her talk, she decided to get up from the table and leave. So I honestly think at this point, Danielle needs to rethink their friendship. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Basketball Wives Orlando. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.